Right now, somewhere in your body, there is a switch you cannot flip on purpose and cannot force yourself to turn off. Someone looks at you a second too long. You say the wrong thing out loud in front of a room, or every head suddenly turns toward you at once. And within a couple of seconds, heat rises into your cheeks, your ears, sometimes your whole neck and chest, and there is nothing you can do to stop it. You can control your voice. You can control your face's expression. You cannot control this. In this video, we go inside the one blood vessel system in your entire body that your willpower has almost no access to, and find out why. Out of every visible reaction the human body produces, this might be the single most honest one you have. Here's what makes your face different from almost every other patch of skin you own. Look at this. The blood vessels in your face sit closer to the surface than in almost any other part of your body, and they're lined with an unusual mix of receptors. Most of your skin is dominated by alpha receptors, the kind that squeeze blood vessels shut the moment adrenaline arrives, which is why fear can drain the color from your face. Your face itself runs on a different ratio, packed with far more beta receptors, the kind that do the exact opposite and pry blood vessels wider open. Same hormone, same nervous system, completely different wiring. And it happens almost nowhere else in the human body, quite the way it happens right here, just under your cheeks. Your ears and the upper part of your chest carry a similar mix, which is exactly why a blush so often spreads past your face into a warm patch across your neck and collarbone, while the rest of your skin, arms, legs, back, stays completely unaffected by the very same rush of adrenaline. The trigger almost never starts in your face at all. It starts higher up, in a small region of your brain that is constantly monitoring one specific question. What do the people around me think of me right now? The moment your amygdala and a region called the medial prefrontal cortex flag that you are being watched, judged, or caught, they fire a signal down your sympathetic nervous system, the same fast network behind fight or flight, and adrenaline hits your bloodstream in under a second. Everywhere else in your body, that adrenaline would squeeze your vessels shut. In your face, thanks to that unusual receptor mix, it does the opposite, and blood floods into the capillaries lying just under your cheeks, your ears, your neck, sometimes the top of your chest, all at once, all visible, all completely outside your control. From the first flicker in your amygdala to visible color in your cheeks, the entire chain takes somewhere between 5 and 20 seconds, which is why a blush always seems to arrive a beat after the moment that actually caused it, as if your body needed a second to catch up with what just happened to you. Here's the uncomfortable part. Almost every other blood vessel reflex in your body has some kind of voluntary override, or at least a parasympathetic break that calms it back down within moments. The vessels in your face barely have one. They're wired almost entirely to the sympathetic system alone, with no strong counter signal standing by to shut things down quickly. So once the reflex starts, you're mostly just along for the ride. Worse, trying to stop it makes it worse. The instant you notice yourself blushing and start worrying about being seen blushing, that worry is itself a fresh signal that you're being watched and judged. So your amygdala fires the identical alarm all over again, and more blood arrives. People especially afraid of blushing can get stuck in exactly that loop for minutes at a time, blushing about blushing, with no clean way to switch it off from the inside. Embarrassment isn't the only thing that trips this switch. Attention alone can do it, even when nothing has gone wrong at all. A sudden compliment, unexpected praise in front of a group, a person you're attracted to catching your eye, or simply realizing every head in the room has turned toward you. All send the identical signal to your amygdala. You are now the object of somebody else's attention. The nervous system on the receiving end of that signal doesn't distinguish between good attention and bad attention. It just registers exposure, and the same beta receptor vessels in your face respond exactly the same way, whether the moment behind it was mortifying or flattering. That's why you can blush from being caught in a mistake and blush from being told, "You look wonderful," using the exact same circuit, seconds apart, for reasons that feel like complete opposites. Here's the key point, and it's what makes blushing stranger than almost any other reflex. Charles Darwin studied it closely and called it, in his own words, the most peculiar and the most human of all expressions. And the reason is specific. Fear and anger can redden an animal's skin too, but this particular reflex needs something more. a working model of what another mind thinks of you. You don't blush from pain or heat or exercise alone. You blush from being seen, from imagining a judgment forming inside someone else's head, which means the switch isn't really wired to your skin at all. It's wired to your sense of self as something other people are watching. Take away the audience, real or imagined, and for most people, the reflex barely fires. Research studying this reflex have found something almost nobody expects. In a series of studies, people who visibly blushed after making an embarrassing mistake, spilling a drink, tripping in public, forgetting a name, were rated afterward by observers as more trustworthy and more likable than people who made the identical mistake without blushing at all. The blush appears to work like an involuntary apology, a signal that says, without a single word, I know I got that wrong, and I care what you think. Because it can't be faked convincingly, other people's brains seem to treat it as honest proof that you understand the social rule you just broke, which may be exactly why a reflex this uncontrollable never got edited out by evolution in the first place. Some researchers now go further and describe blushing as a genuine remedial signal, the social equivalent of an apology your body issues automatically, faster and more convincingly than any sentence you could put together on the spot. So here's something worth trying the next time heat rises into your face in front of other people. Resist the urge to hide it, cover it, or announce how embarrassed you are about it. The evidence suggests the people around you are reading that blush far more kindly than you assume, often as a sign of honesty rather than a sign of failure. You can also stop fighting the loop directly, since noticing a blush and dreading it only feeds the same alarm that started it in the first place. Naming what's happening instead, quietly noting that your amygdala just flagged a social moment and your face is simply following its orders, tends to calm the signal faster than trying to will it away ever will. A switch you cannot flip on purpose, wired not to your skin, but to your sense of being watched, running on a rare mix of receptors that exists almost nowhere else in your body, all so that the people around you have one honest, unfakeable signal that you noticed you got something wrong, or that something just reached you. Every blush is proof that a small part of your nervous system is built entirely around other people, not around you. So think back. What was the last thing that made you blush? And looking back now, was it really embarrassment? Or was it something closer to being flattered or moved? This video is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice.